All right, so today I'm bringing you something new. You normally don't see me covering this type of component, okay? Because many people question the need for such component, and that is a grounding box, Tripoint to be specific. So take a look at the grounding box, and then we're gonna go and talk to Miguel Alvarez, who is the person, the mastermind behind this Tripoint grounding box technology. Miguel, welcome to my channel for the first time, man.
Oh man, pleasure.
It's been a long time coming.
I'm pleasure to be here with you today.
Awesome, awesome. So tell us a little bit about the company. Tell us where you're located. Give my audience some feedback here.
Well, Tripoint, we launched the company back in the year 2008. I'm the owner founder. The reason for Tripoint, it didn't even start as a business. I was on a quest because I always felt that there was something missing, harmonics or live transients. I wanted to recreate the illusion of live music. And I always thought, years of experimenting with different brands, different speakers, different cabling, and I found there was just a different flavor that really, I was missing the soul and the real dynamic expression of the music. And I had a background in magnetic implementation, and that's where our first Troy in the year 2008 was launched into the marketplace. We took it into some recording studios, we took it into the Consumer Electronics Show in the year 2008, and immediately people loved what they heard, and actually some engineers told me that, hey, I'm listening to stuff off the master tapes that I haven't heard in 30 years with your grounding device, and that speaks volume, from an engineer like Ron Allaire and some of the, Mark Walder and some of these engineers that have been, real established icons in the industry. And basically, the rest is history. We sold over 500 devices on a market that had neglected the category of grounding, Jay.
Correct.
And basically, if you look at the marketplace now, because of the success of the Troy, this is the 7th generation Troy, our baby, and because of the success that we had in the marketplace, now you have over 26 manufacturers that are building grounding devices.
Yep.
Because I've known for the longest time that everything's important, room acoustics, amplification, speakers, but for what I look in music, and the music realism that I look for, to me, the loudspeaker and the grounding box are the two main key components that really bring me that level of live realism, like I feel like I'm listening to a live acoustic performance of music versus amplified music. And basically that's really how the whole Tripoint started. We're on our 7th generation product now. We have distribution worldwide. We have customer base worldwide. I mean, if you go and you look up, you'll find that extensive reviews and forums, people raving about the stuff, because once you're a Tripoint customer, that you're a Tripoint customer for life. There's no disconnecting that box. There's no going back. Basically, once you get spoiled to this level of bringing out that type of musicality, because it's really about musicality and bringing out the soul of the music out. Once you experience that, the only people who really get out of it is people are getting out of the hobby. But besides that, people usually evolve, and they move up the chain, and
Now, I want to say that I have had obviously grounding boxes from other brands, Shunyata, Nordos. You guys have seen them on my channel, Synergistic Research even I've had. But this is another level when it comes to that type of component. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over what he has on the floor here in room 476. 476 at the Florida International Audio Show. Okay, make sure you come to this room 476 so that you can take a look at his grounding invention. So talk to us about the two devices, the two grounding boxes that you have at the moment.
And by the way, Jay, we have like a group of people, like after hours, that we're going to do ABs, and we're actually going to disconnect the grounding so people can hear the total collapse of what I'm talking about. Right. Actually, if I just deground one component, the transients and the speed of the system are already diminished. You're talking about not a subtle difference, but pretty profound, dramatic difference.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you about the lineup. Our first entry box is the Detroit Signature NG, and that's our baby, which is it's no baby. We're perfectionists at Tripoint, and basically Let me tell you about I'm going to backtrack and tell you a little bit about some of the history. When I first introduced Tripoint into the marketplace, Jay, with our Mark I version in the year 2008, you know, it was wonderful. The noise, we had immediate noise reduction. We heard some of the goodness that the grounding brought to the table. But here's what happened. The boxes and the cable themselves were introducing timing errors and phasing errors and adding energy in the lower mid bass, which were affecting the music. And we at Tripoint believe that as a designer, I have to design something that can get rid of the noise, but doesn't introduce any false dynamics into the music. That's the hardest part. Many people can build a grounding box, but in order to achieve this level of transparency, inner detail into the recording, it takes years of know-how, research, trial and error, and that's why this has been an evolution. The grounding game is endless. If you look here, we have a speaker, and if you notice, the woofers are grounded.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Take a look.
Yep.
Woofers are grounded.
Yep.
Right here. You can see that with the Troy.
Yep. And
Okay.
the tweeter's grounded.
The tweeter behind. So it's
Yep.
an open baffle design. This is a speaker that has been retired, just so you know, guys, okay? But it is basically for demonstration purposes. The speakers are obviously are fully functional, and he uses them just to show you the improvements in performance with this Troy box.
The mid-range is also grounded. We have a grounding team for the mid-range and the crossover, because we're hooking up to the negative
Wow.
grounding post to eliminate those crossover distortions at the crossover. So
Wow.
you're talking a speaker that's completely grounded.
Okay.
If you were to deground it, the harshness, you will lose that warmth on the tweeter.
What's the MSRP on the box?
That's $28,000.
$28,000.
MSRP. And when you in our entry level, you do get 4 cables to get you started and a power cable. So it's not, we're giving you not only a box, we're giving you a solution.
So these need to be plugged into the wall outlet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
'cause
they're passive.
Right.
But also there's contamination at the wall. So
Okay.
we're dealing with mechanical distortion, EMI, RFI,
Okay.
distortion at the wall. And
Got
that's
it.
why they need to be plugged into the wall.
Okay. And then we have this other model.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit
That's an Elite NG.
Okay.
And basically the filtration level of the filtering modules on that are a little bit more powerful. So you have a further reduction on EMI and RFI. Also, this is a 70-pound box. This is a 200-pound box.
200 pounds?
200 pounds for that box.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's not even that big.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because here goes back to what I was telling you. Any induced mechanical distortion is distortion that you hear. It's induced energy. So in order for you to get this level of transparency, you need to have mass. There's no way about it, and you have to know how to use that mass. Because sometimes when you use mass, you could actually detriment the sound and close in the sound. So there's many years of research. We have a way of combating using mass loading and different materials to combat those mechanical resonances and those resonating frequencies that do really kill the music. Basically, at the end of the day.
What's the MSRP on the box?
This is $90,000.
90,000,
Yeah.
28, 90,000.
Yeah.
This is your flagship, or there's another one
No,
above it?
there's one above that.
That's how much?
That's an Emperor NG, which is not here today. That one's actually 229 pounds. The filtering modules are 25% larger, and you have the Emperor flagship grounding cables with it, which are one of the top tier grounding cables that we offer.
Here's a question that I know is going to come my way, and I'm going to ask in advance. So if one were to buy one of these boxes from you, what are the components that, in your opinion, are the bread and butter when it comes to grounding? Which are the main components?
The grounding game is endless, Jay. As you can see, speakers grounded, amplifiers grounded here, the source is grounded, the DAC, the preamp, it's endless, the electrical, it's endless. So it's up to the customer.
Okay.
Really, but
In your experience,
but
with
garbage
4 cables.
garbage in, garbage out. So I always
Yeah.
recommend, if you have to start, you start with your source component,
Okay.
which that'll be a transfer server, and then your DA converter, your preamp, and your amplification.
Okay, the main ones.
The
Gotcha.
main components. But you are, these days with the experience of grounding the speaker, it's just a whole different ballgame. I mean, there's more manufacturers that I've seen, like Tannoy. More people are coming up with, grounding. There's the title.
Grounding points.
So hopefully the industry sees that and realizes the importance of grounding a loudspeaker, because I think that's the next level
Right.
in loudspeaker design.
Yeah.
And basically, I hope that, we're seeing already a change in the industry, and I think we're just going to see added, manufacturers making speakers with grounding solutions. I hope, to see Magical in the future, or other companies really join in that area. That effort, because I really think it's important.
So at a high level, your company has been around for a long time. Do you consider yourself like essentially the pioneer of this, or did you learn that from someone else before you?
There was only before the year 2008 that I'm aware of. There was only one company, it was Granite Audio. They built this little device that had 3 toggle switches that changed the impedance on the ground plane, but it was just very minimal. They had the right concept, but they really didn't implement to the higher level performance of the grounding solutions that we see in the marketplace. And I knew that grounding was the key. That was the missing ingredient. And that's when I launched the first attempt with the MK1 Troy, which, by the way, now we're using metal. When we started the company, Jay, we used African Bobinga, ebony wood. We had different woods. The boxes were made out of wood. There wasn't any metal involved.
Got it.
And there's metals involved inside the box, but the casings were all wood. And it was a learning curve.
How can people get a hold of you? Your website,
sure.
Share that with the audience.
You can go to www.tripointaudio.us, and basically there's my contact information there. I can put you in contact with the distributor or dealer. If there's not a dealer or a distributor in your area, I'll find the avenues, for.
Well, there you have it. Most of you out there have extremely high-end systems, but are you dropping the ball by not having one of these grounding boxes? Something to think about. Maybe it's worth you looking into, checking out his website, calling him, inquiring a little more. I know there's probably a lot of questions at the moment to understand what else this can bring to the table. And listen, he's the man to talk to. He can explain to you what you can expect from all these boxes. And maybe, who knows, maybe at some point I bring one of those in my lab and give you my feedback as far as what it does for me. It's always an opportunity, and I'm willing to learn. I will say that my limited exposure to grounding boxes, whether it be from Shunyata, Synergistic Research, or Nordust, has always been positive. I've always heard improvements and definitely a lot more nuance, inner details, what he called it. I have heard a lot of that in my experience. So there is so much more information and emotion, to his point, that is to be heard that a lot of us are missing. Okay, so hopefully you have enjoyed this video, and please make sure to pay him a visit.
I'm gonna put you on the spot, Jay. Since I know you had, I hope you can stay here a little while. I can play different material from. What was your initial impression when you walked in the room and you briefly? I know it's not in your.
It's a very clear, clean sound. Like there was absolutely like a lack of noise. Like it was just very, like things popped off the speaker very easily. That's the biggest thing that I heard when I walked in. So, I didn't hear a veil. That's one thing. It was not veil at all. It's very, very clean and clear. And so I know that's one of the things that I have noticed in the past with obviously more affordable propositions when it comes to grounding boxes. So I have no doubt or hesitation to say that I'm sure this is going to definitely be even that much better than what I've been accustomed to. So maybe you get to see it on my channel at some point and give you more feedback. But if you have any questions, please reach out to Miguel Alvarez. Check out his website. The link is right here on your screen. Call him, pick his brain, and see what you can put together with him, okay?
And please, if you're nearby, please come. Please visit. We've had great experience already with the crowd. People coming in.
Yep.
It's everybody's been.
If you're up for a test too, he's going to allow you to actually hear it. If you're at the show here, Florida Audio show, he will be able to just give you a demonstration and let you hear what the system is doing with and without this technology.
We're going to do an A/B actually after hours. We're going to have a group of people, or actually we're going to disconnect it, and you're going to see the collapse of what I'm talking about.
There you go.
So.
Check him out. Pay him a visit. Thank you for your support, and I'll talk to you soon, guys. Please subscribe. Peace.